Today, we're going to talk about 7 ways to improve your life emotionally, relationally, and with productivity. Hey, I'm Adam Glendie with the Pursuit Counseling, and I'm excited to share this next video with you. Hack number 1 is Parkinson's Principle. Did you know that any given task is going to fill the time that is given to it? So if you have an entire day to reply to an email, Parkinson's Principle says that it's going to take the entire day to reply to that email. So, a way to utilize Parkinson's principle to your advantage is to give yourself a smaller amount of time to do the tasks. Hack number 2, use a calendar. Now, some people say time blocking, some people say plan by the hour, some people say plan by the task. One of our neighbors in our community, she talks about piano keys as a way of utilizing time. Let's take a look.
So, this is what life looks like without a pause. When you don't take that strategic pause that allows white space to enter, it looks like work, 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 work. But life could look different. It could look like this. If we had time to pause, it would be work, pause, work, pause, work, pause, work, pause, work, pause. And then we could do all sorts of fortifying and business relevant things within those critical interludes. Think, plan, strategize, create, feel, recover, and reflect. But we don't, because something gets in the way. Filling. Filling is the tendency we have, the behavior to grout in these critical open spaces with fire drills and podcasts and reply to all and busy work and social media and interruptions. The easiest way to break this pattern is with one accessible tool called the wedge. The wedge is a simple little tiny piece of open time that we insert in between two activities that previously were connected. So between a meeting and a meeting, between an impulse and an action, between work and home, between an idea and the plan that follows it, we begin. We begin by inserting, and it doesn't need to be long. This is one of the biggest misconceptions of white space. People think, oh, well, I can't take margin, I can't take white space unless I can take 30 minutes or an hour or some executive sumptuous length. Not true. In your real life, the way that you will mostly use this margin is in the interstitial and brief interludes. A second, 3 seconds, a minute. These are powerful, powerful ways to insert it.
What I like about what Juliet has to say is that a lot of times we try to cram as much as we can into our work day or our school day or whatever phase of life that we're in. We need to look for those times between meetings, between schedules for us to be the leaders that we are. It might be connecting with a staff member, or it might be replying to the emails that are piling up. But if we create those wedges, as Juliet talks about, it's going to help us maximize our time on our calendars and be purposeful with it. Hack number 3, role changes. I like to talk about how we change our roles throughout the day. I sometimes will say I change my hat a few times a day. And one of the ways that I change my hat is by recognizing the type of tasks that I do. As a clinician, one of the hats that I wear is doing my clinical hours, seeing clients. Maybe another hat would be doing supervision or having conversations with my team, writing and recording content like this, or finding other ways to be creative. And then there's the administrative tasks, the part of running the business of owning a counseling practice that do take a lot of energy. And then there's also areas of life of being able to connect with family, friends, exercise, and downtime, self-care. So, how many hats can you change and how many roles can you change in a day? Up next, the contagion effect of the content that we consume. I found this great video that I want to share with you. Let's take a look.
What I've found about reading is I can immediately see the contagion of greatness when I read it and then I take action. So if you go and you read Charles Bukowski's best pieces and then you go to write, your writing will be uplifted by this contagious effect of greatness rubbing off. I don't know what it is. I don't know if there is a framework or philosophy as to why, but I've found the same thing with looking at deals. Often, when I go to invest in a company, I look beforehand at what did Warren Buffett say in his last memo about how he analyzed a company. And you can actually, I think, steal from the minds of others by figuring out what you allow into your brain and then applying that immediately to what you do.
Cody Sanchez in that video did an amazing job talking about the emotional effect of what we consume. If we spend so much of our time looking at social media, unfortunately, social media is inherently negative. A lot of people that post more negative than positive. Most people post more destructive instead of constructive material. So, if we want to be productive, if we want to be constructive, if we want to be positive, if we want to achieve success, we need to be looking at consuming positive, healthy, encouraging materials before we move into our productivity tasks. Hack number 5, remove distractions. We live in a world where distractions are prevalent. One of my favorite people to learn from is Andrew Huberman. Let's watch one of his videos about removing distractions.
The best productivity app is already on your phone, which is to put your phone into airplane mode, or more ideally, and this is the one that I try my best to incorporate, to simply turn the phone off and remove it from my workouts or my attempts to learn language or my attempts to learn anything. I realize that some people need to keep their phone with them for reasons related to communicating with family or coworkers, etc. That's fine if you need your phone, but to the extent that you can remove yourself from distractions, that's certainly going to enhance your ability to focus on what you need to focus on in pursuing your goals.
As you can see, Huberman was sharing about finding small ways to remove those distractions. Go to the gym, turn your phone off, or put it on airplane mode. When you're in a meeting with someone, is your phone turned off? Are you truly there with that person in that meeting? When you're reading, is your phone off? When you're on a run, do you take your phone with you? So remove those distractions so that you can be productive and you can be present with where you are. Hack number 6, prevent burnout. We live in a world that glorifies working way too many hours. Our definition of success is by how many hours we spend, how many days we spend working. And if we work more, we appear more successful. However, that's a recipe for burnout. In one of our blogs over the last week, I wrote a blog about preventing burnout. Let's take a look at it together. At the Pursuit Counseling, we write blogs often as a means to add value to our community, our clients, and just people that are looking for ways to be healthier and happier, because we believe that what you put your focus on is going to be your pursuit. And we want your pursuit to be purposeful. So, as you can see in this blog, um, over here where my cursor is, here's some ways that you can prevent burnout. And we've got some links with some extra materials. Just click on it. So, if you can recognize your signs of stress, if you can set boundaries, we want you to be intentional about your work and life balancing, not balance, balancing. Sometimes you're going to be more purposeful at work, meaning that maybe there's the seesaw is going to tip more toward work. And then sometimes you're going to be more intentional about self care or family or other things that are more purposeful or needed in your life. And so it's about balancing and being intentional, where work life balance, where everything's going to be 50-50 equal, is not necessarily realistic or reality. So check out that blog and it will add some more value to your life. And hack number 7, change. If you're still hanging out with the same people from high school or college or your childhood, that can be great. But if your circle of friends has not changed and it hasn't developed over the years, then you're going to be very similar to the way you were in middle school, high school, or college. So, what we need to do is we need to embrace change. One of the greatest compliments anyone can give is, "You've changed. I've noticed your growth. I've noticed how you've developed as an individual. I've noticed how you've developed as a leader." So, take change as a compliment, and in your pursuit, make change one of the essential elements of your pursuit. Now, I went through 7 areas, and I just want to review them really quickly. Parkinson's Principle: tasks fill the time that's allotted to it. Use a calendar. It doesn't matter which method you use for a calendar, just find one, use it, and over time, develop your use of your calendar. Role changes: you do change hats, you do change roles throughout the day. Be purposeful about the role changes and how you use them. The contagion effect of the content that we consume. If you look at negative stuff, your thoughts are going to be negative. They're contagious. If your thoughts are productive, positive, and healthy, the contagion effect will be in that direction as well. Remove distractions. So be purposeful about what you're doing and remove distractions from whatever you're doing. Prevent burnout. Be purposeful about guarding your health, guarding your time, guarding your emotions. And that can be very helpful in your path to prevent burnout. And lastly, change. Desire change in your life and point that change in the direction of whatever your pursuit is. I'm Adam with the Pursuit Counseling. It's always a pleasure to create these videos, and hopefully they add value to your life. I look forward to the next one.